This is Twisted Secret, Book 3, written by Ava Strong, read by Vivienne. Prologue. In the darkness of the bleak pre-dawn, Professor Robert Duncan could see his own face reflected back at him in the windshield. His hair was white with age, his face white with fright, his knuckles white with the intensity of his grip on the steering wheel. At first, the face seemed to leer at him like the skeletal jaws of death, and he was sure that he would veer his vehicle off the road and down the unforgiving mountain. The snow was blowing straight at him, beating against the windshield faster than his wipers could work. He could see nothing but his own face. As the night pressed on and he followed the faintly glimmering reflectors of the lane lines, he slowly came to terms with the stark reflection in the glass. The ghostly face in the glass was nothing but his fear. His fear was powerless to steer him off the road. They were his own hands gripping the wheel. When the storm broke and the sun came up, the ghastly reflection and deep internal fear both fled like shadows before the light. Duncan felt as if he'd experienced revelation. The sun was just rising over the sloped face of North Dome, brilliant and shimmering over the fresh layer of pure white powder snow that had fallen in the higher elevations during the night as he parked his Cherokee at the trailhead of Looking Glass Lake. To the south, the sheer, unforgiving face of Half Dome rose above the moss-covered boulders and snow-dusted pines like a flat, icy wall. He parked at the trailhead and stepped out into a glorious winter morning. A lone osprey screamed across the morning sky. Shouldering his backpack and sample kit, the old professor began the 4-mile hike, using dual hiking poles to aid his speed and stability. As he trekked down the narrow, rocky trail into the valley, his breath formed white little clouds in front of his bearded lips. He sucked in deep, satisfied breaths. The snowfall had turned into a wet sleet at this lower elevation, cold and chilly, but not frozen. The soft, wet soil under his stiff hiking boots squelched, and the pungent, earthy aroma of the marshy lake bed rose up to meet his nostrils. There was no tonic like a brisk hike through the untampered wilderness, Duncan thought. The cold that kept him sneezing all through the last week had evaporated like morning mist. "That settles it," he told himself. "I'm quitting teaching and dedicating my life to field research." The white-haired professor had told himself this exact promise at least a dozen times over the past decade of tenure at the prestigious Tracer University. So far, the plush armchairs and high accolades of academia had always swayed him away from his convictions. But now, there was a new resolve reverberating.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?